Welcome to Mishna study. We're up to Masechet Peah Perek Vav Mishnah Aleph. What we're going to speak about in this Mishnah is what I termed a limited Hefker. So if someone makes his field Hefker, I'm making it ownerless, but only to a certain group of people, right? So the case the Mishnah is going to speak about is I make it Hefker only to poor people. I want poor people to come and take it. It's ownerless, so poor people could come and take it, but not to wealthy people. Is that considered Hefker or not? That's what we're going to speak about. We'll also have to discuss what's the ramification of this, right? What's the nafkamina of this? And then we'll have a second case on Mishnah, which will lead on to something else. Let's go to the Mishnah and we'll explain. Bet Shammai omrim, hefker la'aniyim hefker, ubet hillel omrim, eno hefker ad sheyufkar af la'ashirim kashemita. Kol omare hasadeh shel kav kav, ve'echad shel arba'at kabin, ushchacho, Bet Shammai omrim eno shicha, ubet hillel omrim shicha. So the first case on Mishnah, if someone's Bet Shammai says, if someone makes his field hefker, ownerless, to only aniyim, right, not to the ashirim, it is considered hefker. It counts. Now we know that if you make something hefker, at that point it's not obligated in ma'asrot. Right? All hefker is not obligated in ma'asrot. So Bet Shammai is saying, if someone makes his field hefker to aniyim, so anything that the aniyim take are now not obligated in ma'asrot. Bet Shammai actually learns this from what the pasuk says, "Le'ani v'lager ta'azov otam," right? Leave them for the ani and the ger, ta'azov otam. So we see there's another type of aziva leaving over that is for aniyim and not to ashirim. Now Bet Hillel argue, and they say, no, it's not hefker. There's no such thing as hefker unless you're leaving it for everyone. If something's ownerless, it needs to be ownerless, then anyone can pick it up. And they learn it from the pasuk, right? What's tishmetena? Untashta. It says it twice, double language. There is a type of leaving, right? And netisha, leaving your field, similar to the shavi'it. And one is that if you make it hefker, it needs to be similar to the shavi'it. Right, the same way the shavi'it, it's hefker, the fields are all ownerless to anyone to take. So too, over here, you need to make your field ownerless to anyone to take. So that's the machloket between Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel. Harambam points out that when Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel are arguing, it's not just, if someone makes his field, Bet Shammai is not just speaking about if a person makes his field hefker only to aniyim and not ashim. It's also similarly if a person makes his field hefker only to people and not to an animal, or to Israel and not to goyim, right? Or to the aniyim in this city, but not to other cities, right? All this, according to Bet Shammai, is considered hefker, and the person who picks it up is not obligated to separate sending to the ma'asrot from it. But Bet Hillel argues, like Bet Hillel, you need to make something hefker ownerless to everyone in order for it to be hefker, and the ramification is patur from ma'asrot. Next part of the Mishnah is kol omare hasadeh shel kav kav. You have all the bundles, these large bundles in the field. Each one is a kav. That's the measurement. That's the volume measurement of each one. And you have one that's 4 kabin, quadruple the size. So we know, we will know later on in this perek, we'll speak about machloket Bet Shammai Bet Hillel. If you forgot 3 bundles according to Bet Hillel, or 4 bundles according to Bet Shammai, and the person forgets them, is that considered shicha or not? And we know that it's not considered shicha. At that point, it's really not considered forgetting. You're allowed to go back and retrieve those. So it seems like, at least Bartunura explains the Mishnah like this, it seems like that's the explanation over here, that over here we're not talking about if a person forgot 4 bundles. We're forgetting if a person forgot a bundle the size of 4. It's one bundle, but it's the size of 4 of them. Are we going to consider it like 4 separate bundles according to Bet Shammai and say that if he forgot this one that's the size of 4, it's as if he forgot 4 and he's allowed to go back and retrieve it, it's not shicha? And that's what Bet Shammai says, it's not shicha. And Bet Hillel says, no, it's one bundle. In the end of the day, he forgot one bundle. I don't care if it's that big, right? If it's one bundle, even if it's 4 kab, it's not going to be it's going to be considered shicha according to Bet Hillel, unless we'll see later on if it's bigger than sa'atayim, 2 se'ah, right? Which is really a very big amount, which in that case, that will be a different discussion. That's the end of our Mishnah.